All right, folks, welcome back to the TNT show. We're going to go ahead and recap week one from college football. Interesting to say the least, week one was, but I'm going to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. And by elephant, I do mean the Alabama Crimson Tide. 31-17 loss to Florida State. They pretty much got whipped on both sides of the ball, got outcoached, outplayed, all of the above. Obviously, you don't want to jump ship. I've seen a lot of people saying, get DeBoer out of here. Ty Simpson isn't the quarterback. Go ahead and play somebody else and all this other stuff. But I mean, it's just week one. You can't overreact. You got to let them, play the season out. And then you make your determination. Once they get to about Georgia, then you make that determination like, is it the quarterback? Is it the coach? Is it the defensive coordinator? Is it the offensive coordinator? Is it this, that, or the third, or whatever? But for everybody who's out there saying get rid of the board, Ty Simpson isn't the coach, y'all keep that same energy when they start winning these games. Don't try to flip the script and say, oh yeah, this is our guy, this is our coach, our defense is phenomenal, yada yada yada, whatever. You gonna pick one side of the fence, you got to stay on it.
For
So
sure. I
that's
mean, it's that's just the thing now. You lose one game, you got to fire him. No, I mean this is a. I mean, I don't know how good Florida State's going to be. I mean, they lost. They brought in a lot of people. They brought in all new coaching. They brought in um. They brought in new players. They brought in a lot of people. A lot of them.
yeah. I mean, it's like you said. At the end of the day, people just have to understand he's not Nick Saban. And Nick Saban really spoiled a lot of the fans with that dynasty that he created. And now that it's gone, it's like, you
It's
know,
like I'm telling everybody, this is what it's been like for the last 20 years. You know, yeah, you're going to lose. Times have changed. Now it's money, social media, all that, I'm sure they were doing a little bit of that with Nick Saban. I mean, you can't not do it. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it.
exactly.
But, I didn't see that intensity from the sideline. DeBoer ain't throwing his headset. He's just over there look like he's lost.
From a head coach
Like you said,
perspective, that is very concerning to see your head coach kind of just standing there looking baffled, not really showing that high intensity level. But I mean, what you learned from last season is that is generally his demeanor. He's not really throwing headsets and, getting in the players' behinds and stuff like how Nick Saban was, which I mean, that's the comparison you draw because that was the coach who was there for however many years. 20
yeah, I
years
don't.
almost.
It's like
So
we talked about earlier. If they struggle to score points these next 2 weeks, okay, I wouldn't say panic, but I would be a little concerned. Okay, the offense is lacking. Is it? Ryan Grubb is new. You got to give him a little bit of. You got to give him a little bit of time. I mean, maybe Ty Simpson isn't the answer. I don't know, but it wasn't all on him though. I mean, every time he said "hut," he was having to throw it away or running for his life. I mean, I don't know how many times did he get sacked? Do you know? I have no idea.
I think he got sacked 3 times, but there were double digit hurries. So he was really under duress basically the entire game, if you think about it. I mean,
So
again, for the people who are saying Ty Simpson isn't the guy, like you clearly didn't watch the whole game. You clearly weren't paying attention to his performance because, I
yeah,
mean,
did he make some? I mean, he's a rookie essentially. I mean, he's the first time he's played a big game. I mean, on the road at Florida State is not an easy task. I
it's
mean,
definitely not ranked or
especially in a
unranked.
game like that, you're down, it's rocking in there. He looked like a deer in headlights. Ryan Williams wasn't helping him out. The defense wasn't helping him out. The offensive line sure wasn't helping him out. The run game was that first drive. Alabama looked good. They looked good. They scored. And I was like, okay. And then after that, I don't know what happened. One thing I seen, and I don't know if it's what I don't know if it's DeBoer or what. They abandoned the run game so quick. I don't know why. Why do they do that? Do you know? They were actually
Um,
running the ball fairly well,
I don't know,
and
man.
then
It
they
seemed like
stopped.
after that first drive, and then I think when they got down 17-7,
Well, I mean,
that's
at
when
that
they
point,
really.
you can't really run the ball at that point
Well, I
because you're
mean,
down.
they were only down 17-7 in that first half. They still could run the ball, but they chose not to. It just wasn't. They abandoned it too quick.
They did that last year. I don't know why they're doing that. So, what do you think?
I think
What do
it's
you
what it is. It's just week one. Obviously, it's not the outcome that you expected, given how they played up that game and saying, we're prepared and we've been preparing and this, that, and the third. So you,
the thing that I didn't like? I'm not an Alabama fan by any means. Is that you let this opposing quarterback literally tell you you're not the same team. Nick Saban's not here to save you, and he came and they didn't come in. They beat the brakes off of you on their home field. I don't know. They got a lot to work on. Like I said, they got two easier games. They got UL Monroe and Wisconsin, then the bye week, and then Georgia. So, like I said, if you struggle to score points in these next two games, I'm not sure who the backup is, whether it's Austin Mack or um, what's the other guy's name? Russell.
yeah, Keelan Russell.
So one of them. I mean, maybe you see. I think you do it either way because if he struggles, he may not struggle in these two games because he shouldn't. But if he struggles in SEC play against good teams, you need to know if Russell or Matt can come in here and score some points.
Yeah. I mean, if it comes to that point, like, against Georgia or anybody else in the SEC and he isn't playing well, I think it's levels to it. I feel like if the offensive line is playing poor, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is because they're not gonna have the time to do what any quarterback would be able to do with a
Right.
great
I
offensive
think the
line.
biggest thing is we're going to talk about a lot of different people and teams here. Is that everybody that got hyped up on this offseason looked terrible. Alabama got dominated by a 2-10 win team last year. Arch Manning looked god awful. He looked like he ain't never played football before.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one where it's you kind of you got to understand it's week one and they're playing the defending national champions in week one. But again, that's not giving any excuse to his play because he did play poor. I mean, he played very bad. But again, hats off to Ohio State's defense because even though they did lose, they only lost by a touchdown. It was
Yeah.
14-7.
I mean, it's not like, yeah. I mean, Ohio State scored in the second quarter and then the fourth quarter. They didn't do anything else other than that. Everybody else, aside from the big games, nobody really played each other. Um, let's start with we'll start the recap here. Obviously, we know Alabama got beat at Florida State. South Carolina, Virginia Tech. It was a pretty competitive game for the most part. I mean, South Carolina obviously was the better team. Um, Virginia Tech turned the ball over too many times. They were turning the ball over. That's not going to work. Um, pretty big rivalry for them. A lot of history between Beamer and Virginia Tech. His dad is in the Hall of Fame as a coach there. He played there. It's a lot of history between the two. Um, they just were really they were just the better team. I mean, Sellers looked about the same. I mean, he's probably going to be a really good quarterback as long as he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you like South Carolina, given that that big win streak they went on the end of the season. So they started this season off on the right note. They got to win. Um, Not a blowout by any means, but they definitely held Virginia Tech in check. Like you said, they had a lot of turnovers. So, I mean, you take that and you just roll with that momentum wise. I mean, just number one, you keep Lenore Sellers healthy. He's your ticket to your
I promise.
playoffs
Yeah, for
and
sure.
possibly a deep playoff run. So just keep him healthy. And I think, again, they're another one of those good football teams.
I mean, a lot of people have him. They were hyping him up Sunday, saying he was going to be. He's a potential number one overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, if he can stay healthy and they win some games, I mean, they might be right. I mean, he's
Possibly.
kind of what you want.
Yeah. But again, it is just week one. So that's a little
Yeah,
hefty
we got a
given.
long season to go.
Yeah, and that schedule is definitely not easy, or not the easiest, anyways.
So jump into Miami, Notre Dame. Again, Miami has that. They brought in Carson Beck. I mean, this is not his. He's been in college for what 6 years. So I mean, this isn't his first rodeo. Has a pretty good coach. Looks pretty good. Their defense still struggled a little bit, but again, as long as Carson Beck can stay healthy, I mean, I think Miami's going to be a good team. I mean, Notre Dame wasn't a slouch. I mean, they only won by 3.
Yeah, I mean, again, another team with Notre Dame. They're coming off a national championship run. They lost a lot, but you can see like they're still a talented football team. I mean, it took everything Miami had to beat them. So, I mean, hats off to Miami on the win. Like you mentioned, they got Carson Beck now. They have a reloaded offense and defense. They have some transfers come in. So, again, another team that's, potential playoff contender.
Um, Tennessee plays Syracuse. It was a good game until Tennessee kind of ran away with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the score that you expected. I mean, it's one of those, like your signature phrase, they were just a more physical team.
Yeah, and a lot of people were worried about Nico being gone and what they were going to look like. And from what I've seen from him, we'll get to that here in a second. From what I've seen from him, I mean, Tennessee looked like they didn't miss a beat. Defense played pretty good. First game had to win. Had to, there's always going to be some kinks and some stuff you got to work on.
Yeah,
So, I mean, they look pretty good. Let's just jump to Nico and UCLA. He looked terrible,
they got, first off, they got blown out
blown out by Utah. Beat the brakes off of them.
40, I think it was 43-10,
Yeah,
something like
if it
that.
wasn't worse than that.
It was bad. They got absolutely destroyed.
So, he run his mouth, you know, and this is I don't know if you want to call it karma or whatever you want to call it, but man, he looked terrible. Like, man, they wasted a lot of money on him. So hopefully they don't get that Florida State effect. You brought in Nico thinking he was going to turn your franchise around, and then you win like 2 games.
Yeah,
Bill Belichick had his first game. They
mm,
got the brakes beat off of them. They got
yeah.
absolutely. I don't even. What was the score like? 60 to. I don't
I
even
think
know.
it was about 40 something to 7. I mean, they gave you a lot of hope when they went and scored that first touchdown, and then after that, the wheels fell off the wheels fell off, train fell off the track, all the above, and it just was complete and utter domination by TCU.
Yeah, because I mean, the one thing their quarterback did get hurt, but it was beyond gone at that. I mean, they couldn't stop anything. They got beat 48-14. So it was bad. Like you said, the first possession looked good, then all of a sudden, it they just couldn't stop TCU. So I mean,
I don't know.
you hate to see that, but I mean, sometimes that's just the way it is. A lot of the times when you open up playing good teams, it can happen to you. I mean, Boise State got absolutely excuse me. Boise State got absolutely blown out. And a
Yeah,
lot of people thought that they were going to be pretty good, and South Florida dominated them.
yeah. I think this might be a down season for Boise. No Ashton Jeanty. So they really got to figure out their identity
Yeah, they
now.
didn't know what to do. They were trying to still run the ball and do what they had to do. And they looked pretty good, but I mean, again, South Florida just put it on them, and there really wasn't nothing Boise could do.
Now, South Florida, on the other hand, they could be that group of five team. If they win that conference, they could have a playoff appearance if they beat at least one
Yeah,
of
because
those
they
ranked
played
teams that they
Florida and
play.
Miami. So,
They got to get a win in at least one of those if they want to make the playoffs. They can't lose both of them.
um, another big game. Other than that, I don't really see anything that was really, worth mentioning. Texas and Ohio State. Let's just jump to that. Arch Manning did not look good. Um, a lot of people were, he was a front runner for the Heisman. Now he's not. You know, Again, week one playing a team that brought in the Patriots defensive coordinator from the Super Bowl runs. I mean, he was throwing stuff at him that I mean, Arch Manning hadn't played football in 2 years, and no disrespect to him. I mean, he's made more money than me and you combined will ever see in our life. But for all the hype he got, he didn't stand a chance. I mean, they were naming him the greatest quarterback of all time. We hadn't even played yet. He's the
Yeah,
highest paid NIL athlete
people put
in
way too
sport.
much expectation on him before he even like took the meaningful snaps. Like y'all are, obviously I don't know how he became to be the Heisman front runner, given that he didn't really play a ton last season. I guess it goes off of I guess it's a hype thing, like you say.
Yeah,
So,
that name says everything.
so I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that first game was poor.
He
Again,
started
it's a
playing. He started playing better in the second half.
yeah,
They kind of scored. They scored in the fourth quarter. It was 14-0, I think, at that point, and they scored. So I mean, again, they only lost by 7, and that game
yeah,
was a lot closer. Well, okay, let me not say that. The score made it a lot closer than probably what it really was. Ohio State did dominate them. They didn't really open up the playbook for Arch, but it's the first game. You don't really want to throw him into the fire because he was
yeah,
already kind of struggling, and you didn't want to make it worse and then be like, okay. And then people be like, okay, this guy ain't it.
yeah. I
Or you don't
mean,
want him to lose that confidence either, and then, you suck.
with if you look at Ohio State's quarterback, he didn't do anything outstanding either, but he didn't have to. He
He
played
didn't have to.
well enough and efficient enough for his team to win. And that's what really matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, their defense is, man, like I said, they got one of the best defensive coordinators, multi-time Super Bowl champ that, had some of the best defenses in football at the time. Now coaching college, throwing something at a quarterback that's probably never seen anything like that before. So, it's like you said, it's week one. Pump the brakes a little. I mean, Texas is still a good team. They did get beat by the defending national champions, so it's not like they got beat by Southern Miss.
Yeah, it's not like they got blew out either. I mean, again, is a loss is a loss, but it was 14-7. Their defense
Yeah,
still only gave up 14 points, as bad as their offense played.
right. Yeah, exactly. So, excuse me. So let's round it up with LSU Clemson. You know, a lot was hanging. I think it meant more for LSU to win this game than Clemson, if you just want me to be honest. We went into
The real Death Valley.
the fake Death Valley and put it on. I know the score was 17-10, but it should have been at least we beat them by 3 scores. Should have. We didn't kick the field
Honestly,
goal. Before halftime, we didn't kick the field goal. And I was like, man, here we go. We're not taking the points, and that's going to come back to bite us. And it almost did. And they took that touchdown away that, they said that in the end zone he broke the plane. They also did that against South Carolina as well, of when they said that he didn't control the ball, but he broke the plane. I don't know. Rules are, it looked like they were in Clemson's favor for sure. But, we handled business. You know, we didn't give up a single point in the second half. Defense played lights out. You know, offensively, we struggled a little offensively. I'm not going to act like Nussmeier played like a Heisman Trophy winner. The offense seemed to struggle. It seemed like we weren't on the same page. We were dropping a lot of balls and calling timeouts and getting false starts. And, we just weren't on the same page. But our run game looked really good with Caden Durham. Nussmeier looked, he only incompleted 10 passes in the whole game. And like I said, our defenses looked like it used to. This is what LSU's defense should look like. We were all over the place. We gave
so
up 31 yards on the ground to Clemson that supposedly had one of the best offenses and defenses in the nation.
what I took from that game was technically Clemson won that first half. They went in the halftime up 10-3, but then they definitely put up a blank in the second half. LSU said it meant more to them in that second half to win that game, like you said, than it did to Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, we dominated the second half for sure.
yeah, second half, y'all absolutely outright dominated. First half, like you said, it was a little questionable.
It was shaky.
Um,
We had a lot of new pieces. Offense, defense. The defense played good. It's not like, we gave up 3 points in the first quarter, and then they scored a touchdown. And like you said, it was 10-3. Come out, we scored, and then it was a good game. What you want to see? You open up against a top 5 team, on the road. You get the win. That's the first time we won an opening game in 5 years since we won the national championship. That's the first time we won an opening game.
exactly.
So, it's like you said, it's week one. So, we got a long season ahead of us. It's not going to be easy by any means. We got to get ready for, you just take it 1 week at a time now. For anybody, Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, whoever, 1 week at a time.
Yeah, that's the win as for LSU. That's the win you're looking for in week one. It sets the tone to the season.
Yeah,
It
for sure.
uh it gives you that momentum going forward because you have a tough schedule ahead. So as long as their mentality is 1-0, a lot of teams like to talk about that 1-0 mentality. As long as they go into every week with that 1-0 mentality, then I think they can definitely make that run and possibly win the championship. I know it's don't want to overreact. It's just week one. It was a great game. They won by touchdown. Score was 17-10. Both teams are still going to be great. Both teams can still be playoff contenders. But LSU, it looks like you think this is what their year is for them.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was hoping for. You
Yeah.
know, brought in good pieces. Nussmeier come back for his senior season. You know what he brings to it. Was honestly, it was the defense that was the question mark. We brought in a lot of key pieces. The corner from Virginia Tech, the safety from Houston, the two outside rushers from Florida State and Florida. Our
Yeah.
linebackers are still the same. But we brought in, we had a true freshman on the other side that didn't even get really targeted at all. So, that's kind of what you want to see is, if we can play defense like that, like you said, I don't want to be too biased, but, if we can play like that, you might want to, yeah, it's going to be, you don't want to see LSU come later in the season if we're rolling like that. But, jumping to week 2, I don't think we got a whole lot going in week 2. I mean, a lot of cupcake games or however you want to call it. Baylor SMU play that could be interesting. Auburn did look pretty good, and mentioned Auburn for a second. Oklahoma looked pretty good. Auburn looked pretty good. They struggled in the first. It's like I said, they had to work some stuff out. But once they kind of found their identity and kind of let Jackson Arnold do what he can do, they kind of blew Baylor. I mean, they just couldn't stop the run. Auburn was just running the ball all over him, and the running backs were just pounding it down their throat.
Yeah, the thing that you are, and again, I know, like I said, I'm gonna reiterate this a bunch. It's week 1. The only thing that you're concerned with for Auburn is the passing game. Obviously,
Yeah, he struggled to throw the ball, and he struggled to throw the ball at Oklahoma a little bit. But Auburn's a little bit of a better situation. Well, I guess everybody got hurt at Oklahoma,
I
so
mean, it's Baylor, so obviously you're gonna get away with being able to just dominate them on the ground. But once you get into the SEC play and the defensive intensity picks up, like
yeah, it's a little
you're
bit
gonna have
different.
to
Yeah,
you're gonna have to be able to throw the ball. So
yeah, some at least. Yeah, you got to keep the defense honestly. Otherwise, they're just going to load the box.
yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So, aside from a few games, really nothing really crazy happening. I mean, Oklahoma plays Michigan, so that should be a pretty good game.
Yeah, it
They're
will.
in they're in Oklahoma, so big game for Mateer, big game for Bryce Underwood here.
Yeah,
So
you got the rookie versus the vet basically. So personally, in this game, I'm gonna take Oklahoma and John Mateer just because he really. I mean, they didn't really play anybody week 1, but he still lit it up though, and he's a quarterback that's known for you know passing a lot, racking up a lot of yards. So I think Oklahoma's. They might not light the scoreboard up because Michigan normally has a good defense, but I think with a more experienced quarterback, that
yeah,
probably is
Oklahoma,
going to propel
like
you
you
to the
said,
win.
yeah, Oklahoma usually has a pretty good. They had a good defense last year. They just couldn't. They struggled offensively, so they got beat up a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you said, I think I'm going to take Oklahoma too. Like you said, I think Oklahoma's just going to be a little bit too much. Bryce Underwood. They're going into Oklahoma, so I don't know. I like neither one of them played anybody, so you really don't know how good either one of them are. And Bryce Underwood flipped from LSU to Michigan, so I hope Oklahoma gives him the welcome to the moment treatment. I didn't say that. Mississippi State plays Arizona State. This could be a good game. It really could.
Yeah. I mean, Mississippi
Um,
State did start the season 1-0, so that's a lot more than what they did last season, if you think about it.
I mean, yeah, they
Um,
only won 2 games, so I mean, big again. It's in Starkville, It's in Mississippi. You couldn't pay me to play there. Hearing those stupid cowbells for 3 hours or 4 hours or however long it is. Because man, I'm gonna
Yeah, I
go
mean,
upset here. I'm gonna take Mississippi State here.
I think I'm gonna still go with Arizona State. I mean, yeah, they did lose Cam Scatterboo, but they
That's
still
about
have
it.
a they still got a majority of their roster. I think they're still a really good football team. So I'm gonna take Arizona State just because it was a great opening win for Mississippi State, but I don't think they play anybody. So we'll see.
I'm gonna go upset. I'm gonna take Mississippi State by a field goal. I think they're gonna squeeze one out. Um, I mean Alabama plays UL Monroe, LSU plays Louisiana Tech, South Carolina doesn't play anybody. Florida, South Florida. This could be a big game right here. Like you said, South
Hmm.
Florida. South Florida could. I'm not saying they're gonna beat them, but I mean Florida's favored by 17, 18 points, three scores. You know, I think if South Florida can just hang in, they got to stop Lagway's the main thing, and I mean, that's a big QB back there. So you just got to keep it close. You just got to hang in there with them and hope that they don't.
So
You just can't let
again,
you just can't let Florida jump on you like 20-3 or something crazy. Because at that point,
yeah,
they're
if
going to
you
lock down and play defense, and you're just not going to be able to come back on them.
now if you follow Boise State's formula, they lost that one game last season to Oregon, but it was close. So if they can, they're gonna have to find an upset. It's either gonna have to be Miami or it's gonna have to be Florida. They have to upset one and they have to barely lose to the other to get into the playoffs. Because the rest of the South Florida schedule is like
Yeah,
super easy.
yeah, they don't play anybody. Yeah.
They're by far, like if you look at that conference, they're by far the best team in that conference based on the talent that they have on the team.
It's like you said,
So
they need to beat one of them, and at least if you're going to lose, don't lose bad. I don't know
yes,
who's your better chance. They probably have a little bit better of a chance of probably beating. I know this is going to sound crazy, but they probably have a little bit better chance of beating Florida because it's game two. Still working out some kinks. Florida did lose some people to the transfer portal, and obviously, I'm sure people went pro. So it's week two. So, maybe they're still working out some kinks. South Florida did beat a ranked team in Boise, dominated them. Take that with a grain of salt. But like I said, you never know. Um, again, I'm not going to bank on that. I'm going to take Florida. Florida is probably going to be, again, too physical for South Florida. They'll probably end up beating them by at least 14, maybe 20 points, if you just wanted me to be honest. Maybe close, though, but I think Florida should be able to handle business.
yeah, we'll see. It really depends on Byron Brown. He has to be able to pass the ball efficiently. That's going to be the biggest thing if South Florida wants to either upset or only lose by a little bit. They cannot just rely on running the football. That's not going to work against Florida.
Not every time anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's. I mean, Ole Miss plays Kentucky. Kentucky upset Ole Miss last year. Ole Miss
Yeah.
come off that 3 game, blowouts against Cupcakes and then got beat by Kentucky.
And Kentucky
So
does have that transfer quarterback, Calzada. He's been in the SEC on two different teams before. So I don't know. We could look at Kentucky actually being relevant this season.
yeah, I mean, Ole Miss lost a lot of people too. Lost Jackson Dart. Austin Simmons. I don't really know what he looks like. They didn't play anybody. So I don't know. I think Ole Miss is kind of in this discussion of what's happening. You know, never been to a playoff. I mean, they've ever been. If they've ever been to the SEC, I couldn't tell you when. So
Yeah, you definitely want them to make that playoff push. I think it's for Lane Kiffin. I think they love Lane Kiffin out in Ole Miss.
oh for
So even
sure,
if he doesn't make the playoffs, I think he's okay, just as long as he keeps consistently having winning records. But I think they definitely want him to make that push. But it's not one of those situations where it's like he's on the hot seat. Like if you don't make the playoffs, we got to let you go.
yeah, like he's one of those coaches. Like he's not going to leave Ole Miss unless they just fire him, and they're probably not going to do that because Ole Miss was, they've always been pretty good. But I mean, I'm curious to see how. I mean, he's winning games. I mean, they were so close last year, but yet so far because they got beat by teams they shouldn't
Yeah,
have. Iowa State and Iowa play. Obviously, that's a huge rivalry for them. Um, Iowa State probably will beat them. Iowa again. It's like you said, they really don't have very much offensively. Um, Kind of what hinders them. They just don't really play good defense. Just don't have an offense to beat anybody.
yeah. They also lost their 1,000 plus yard rusher to the NFL. So I mean, I don't really know what they have to offer. Iowa, what they have to offer offensively. And they never really do have anything to offer offensively almost every single season. So I don't know. Could be different this year, but we don't know.
I mean, in the first game, their running back ran for 130 yards. So probably going to see a lot of that. So um, that's about it. Nobody else really that I see in the top 25 is actually really playing. So
Yeah, a lot of times those first few weeks, I mean, a lot of teams just schedule a lot of like gear up games so they can get ready for, install plays, see what works, see what they like, see what they don't like. So when they get ready to go into conference play, they feel like they're okay.
yeah,
I
I
feel like
mean
that's a
Kansas plays Missouri. Um, so that might be a good game.
Oh, I think my thing with that is I feel like that's good and bad because it's like it's cool, you pay somebody to come out, beat up on them, and it gets you ready for conference play, which is sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Ole Miss, for example, they scheduled like four cupcakes in a row when he
Well,
played Kentucky
Missouri
and lost.
starting quarterback got hurt Saturday.
Yeah,
So I don't really know how bad it was, but their backup come in and they were struggling when he came in. They were lighting it up. Vandy plays Virginia Tech again. Could be a very big game for. I mean, Virginia Tech's favored in this game. So, and then other than that, nobody else in the SEC really plays
yeah. I mean,
that we haven't already covered.
week two is kind of a dud. I mean, for our
It's
respective
like you said.
teams,
It's like you said. You schedule these people now. You get ready. You try some stuff. Build some confidence in your team. You did get beat week one. You have time to, okay, we've got a couple weeks before we got to go, run this SEC stretch and gauntlet or whoever, Big Ten, ACC, whoever you're in. So, but yeah, I mean, that's all I got. I mean, week one in the books.
yeah, what a week one it was.
Yeah.
That's a great way to start off college football. Welcome back to college football. Now it's,
Yeah. This is why I love college football because the NFL, it's pretty obvious for the majority of the time who's going to win. But man, college
yeah.
football, man, you never know.
The NFL is
Uh,
more cut and dry from like a talent standpoint. Normally, the team that's better is a lot
Better.
more times not gonna win or are going to win.
Yeah, in
Where in
college, I
college
mean, man, you never
football,
know.
yeah, any given Saturday, you can lose if the team comes out and plays well enough.
Yeah, I mean, no matter who it is. So, but yeah, I mean, that's basically all I got.
Yeah, I mean that'll do it for us here on week one recap and week two predictions. So, our first NFL prediction episode already dropped. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. If you made it this far in the video, give us your predictions on your week two, at least the primetime games, the really good games, because obviously, we know what those cupcake games are going to be like. They're all going to be blowouts. Maybe not all of them. Some teams do tend to struggle in those cupcake games, and some
Yeah,
teams
it's
can.
it's it's just because they're coming, they're not really trying. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll do it for this one. And as always, thanks for listening in, checking out our videos and stuff, comments, likes, etc. And we'll catch you on the next episode.